Welcome back. It is week 2. As promised, I am here with week 2 of the 6 weeks of self-coaching. We're really getting into learning to do the model ourselves here. So what we have is a model overview, thought downloads, and self-coaching basics. The quote I have this week is, "The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking." Albert Einstein. And what I want you guys to do is stay tuned to the end for a free gift. I made it today. I'm super excited about it. It's beautiful and it's super helpful with the self-coaching. So our agenda, model overview, including common mistakes. We're going to review circumstances. What is really the cause of your problems? We're going to answer why we don't take action and what is massive action. We're going to talk about the magic that can happen with the R line. We're going to learn how to do a thought download, and we're going to learn the steps of self-coaching. So here's that model again. CTFAR, circumstance, thought, feeling, actions, and results. And remember, with your actions, it can be actions or inactions. The model does not solve or fix problems. It reveals them. The model really shows you your thinking so you can decide if it's working for you or not. So it gives you an opportunity to fix your own problems by being aware of the thinking. Now, I'm going to skip the last line in each of these because we just reviewed CTFAR and what that means. And so you can go back to that point. So I'm just going to make this a little bit shorter for us. Circumstance, a neutral data point that has happened in the world, something about which everyone agrees. And thought, an optional phrase in one's mind about a circumstance. The cause of all feelings in the self-coaching model. Feeling, a one-word description of a vibration in the body that is created by a thought and fuels all action or inaction in the self-coaching model. And I just want to kind of speak to that. We get really riled up about our feelings. We get very upset about feeling anxious. We don't like to feel angry. And all these things are our vibrations in our body, and we can deal with them. Action, something one does that creates a result and is driven by a feeling. It can be also inaction. Result, the effect of our actions or inaction, and always evidence of our original thought. So common mistakes. Putting a thought in the C line, putting a question in the T line, and when that happens, we will answer that question. If you ever end up putting a question in your T line, just answer it. Putting more than one thought in the T line. We got only one thought, not two. Another thought is another model. You can run as many models as you want, but one thought at a time per model. Using more than one feeling in the F line. We can sometimes feel angry and sad at the same time, but those are two different models. They're going to come from two different thoughts. Making the R line about somebody else, making our result, it's funny even when I say our result, but making the result about somebody else. We were working on our results, not somebody else. And mixing models. An example of a mixed model might be, I'm feeling sad, but I'm actually having a thought that makes me angry. And that's a good example of a mixed model. It's two models that have been put together and need to be separated. So problematic model. So here's one. Circumstance. To-do list has 10 items. Thought, I'll never get this all done. Feeling, overwhelmed. No problem so far, right? When you're thinking, I'll never get this all done, you're going to feel overwhelmed. Action, get to work quickly and stay on task. Now, when you're feeling overwhelmed because you're thinking, I'll never get this all done, does that make you want to get to work? No, it makes us not work. It makes us stop. When we feel overwhelmed, we kind of want to crawl in a hole. And the result they have here is all 10 items on the list get done. That's not going to be a result you're going to get from the thought, I'll never get this all done. So let's review. Circumstances are neutral. Circumstances that are neutral, an example would be, this is carpet on this floor, although you can't see it. I have a son is a neutral circumstance. Notice there's no judgment about the sun. There's no making it good or bad. She said, I don't have time. That's just what she said. When we put what people say in quotations, those are perfect circumstances. I weigh 165 pounds. That's a very exact thing. That's not mine, but it's an example that someone gave. I have a boss. Another one, I don't actually have a boss, but this was an example in the coursework. So here's a quiz. My son is failing math. Neutral circumstance or not? I think this one is not so neutral because failing means different things to different people. I don't think everyone would agree that your son is failing math. Probably to make this more of a good circumstance, it would probably be my son is getting a, whatever it might be, F in math. She is rude. That's a judgment, not a good circumstance. There's a reason you're thinking she's rude. It's probably because she said, and quote, whatever she said. I'm too busy. That's an opinion that not everyone would agree on. Some people, their level of busy is different, right? My kids are mad at me. That's not a good circumstance. That could just be your thought, could just be your opinion that they're mad at you. They may not even be mad. They may have all kinds of different feelings. Maybe there's something that they said specifically that we could make a circumstance. I'm in debt. Not a good circumstance. Debt means different things to different people. For some people, $100 on a credit card might mean I'm in debt. For some other people, $90,000 might mean debt. So remember, everybody has to agree on circumstances. Another one, I'm underpaid for the work that I do. It's a matter of opinion, right? Some people might think that you're overpaid for the work that you do. So our circumstances need to be factual. I'm underpaid for the work that I do. We would change that to I am paid X amount of money per month or whatever it might be. Our thoughts are always the problem. Our thoughts about our circumstances are just our opinion or our perspective. Many people would have many different thoughts about the same circumstance. And we can see that with these circumstances back here, right? So we learn to question circumstances we believe are real, and then we learn to question our thoughts. So are they real or are they fake? Why our thoughts matter. This is kind of a review from last week, because we have thoughts about our circumstances, and then we have feelings about those thoughts. Those feelings drive our actions and inactions, and then that is what we get our results from. Why does it matter? Are we getting good results or are we getting bad results? What do you want? That's why they matter. If you want good results, you've got to work on your thinking about the circumstance. So what are your results? Anywhere in life we have an undesired result, we have a thought error. Another word for an undesired result would be a problem. We will always find the cause of the problem in the thought. So why is this great news? It's great news because our thoughts are optional. And I know this probably at this point sounds a little hard to believe. It's probably how I want to put it, but they absolutely are optional. You can choose to think anything you want. You're making it all up anyway. So why not choose thoughts that give you good results or that make you happy instead of ones that make you unhappy or get you undesired results? So we can decide what we want to think about any circumstance. Let's talk about why we don't take action. The reason we don't take action is we haven't created the feelings needed to drive that action. Yes, we can create the feelings that get us to do the actions that get us the results that we want. So, massive action. What is it? Action we take and continue to take until we reach our goal. Massive action includes the process of anticipating obstacles and being willing to fail repeatedly and try again until the goal is reached. So, what is the difference between active and passive action? Sometimes we think we're taking massive action, but what we're actually taking is passive action. So let's go back and talk about that just a bit. Passive action looks like, let's say that there's a goal you want to reach and it's a big one and it's a scary one and you're doing a lot of research, you're doing a lot of reading, you're talking to people about it, you're watching YouTube videos, you're thinking about it. None of these things are actually moving you forward though. And so when we know we're taking passive action is when we're doing a lot of consuming. And when we're taking massive action is when we're doing creating. Creating this video for you today and teaching you is taking massive action. And I did spend a lot of time in passive action, not actually doing the video, not actually moving forward with this. So that's where you can kind of be onto yourself, whether you're taking passive action or massive action. So you can create any result with the R line. You don't even have to currently believe that it's possible. An important thing is the R line is for your results, not somebody else's. We talked about that before, right? You might have a partner that you would really like it if they were getting different results in life, but you can't put things in their R line. They have to do that themselves. So how to do a thought download. So what you do is you sit down with a piece of paper and for 5 to 10 minutes, and I would encourage you to do this every day, every morning. It makes tremendous changes in your life once you get the hang of this. But for 5 to 10 minutes, write down all your thoughts. Don't edit them. Don't judge them. Don't censor them. Just write them as is. If you need to burn or shred the paper when you're done, do it. But don't censor yourself. Don't be upset with yourself if your thoughts are petty or if you think bad things about people or whatever it might be. Put it down anyway. It's super important. You can't do the work on these thoughts if you shut them down immediately. So write down all the thoughts. If you can't think of anything, write down, I can't think of anything right now. And then something else will come. Our thoughts are coming all the time. But just sit there and write until your time is up. So how to self-coach. Number 1, you're going to do a thought download like I just taught you. Number 2, we're going to do an unintentional model. And those, if you remember from last week, an unintentional are the ones that just happen. You're not trying to run these models. They're just happening to you already. It's a habit you're in. An intentional model is something that you want. It's a change that you want. So let's do an unintentional first. So I'm going to put the circumstance as he said you're overreacting. Men can say this. It's not a good idea, especially if there's an argument happening or something like that. So in the unintentional model, the circumstance is he said you're overreacting. Notice, although I'm kind of sharing an opinion about this, there's no opinion in the circumstance line. The thought in this unintentional model is he doesn't respect me. From that, someone might feel angry. Somebody might feel differently about it though, right? Like that's just the one I chose for this model that I made up. But some people might think he doesn't respect me and feel sad or feel hurt or whatever. Do you see how there could be different thoughts or different feelings about the same thought? In this one, we're going to go with angry. And when this person is feeling angry because she's thinking he doesn't respect me, when he said you're overreacting, what she's going to do from anger, the actions she's going to take is she's going to argue. She's going to try to convince him of her side. She's going to lose her patience. And this is just all a made up scenario. People are going to do different things, right? This is just our little fake person that we made up. And we're just going to go with the actions that somebody would probably take. She's going to lose her patience. She's going to yell. She's not going to listen to his point of view. And the result is going to be, and I put I'm because we're always talking this, we could pretend that this is my model. I'm not respecting myself by believing this thought. So believing the thought he doesn't respect me, I'm not respecting myself, right? And not acting as my best self. All right, so that's an unintentional. You see how that thought, he doesn't respect me, gets you the result of not respecting yourself. Because anytime, and here's where I'm coming from with this result, because you might wonder, did I pull that out of thin air? No. If I say this with my clients all the time, it's an example that I really like. If somebody walks up to you on the street, okay, let's say they walked up to me, because I don't know what color your hair is. But if they walked up to me on the street and they said, I don't like your blue hair, am I going to get angry? Am I going to get upset? No, I would just think that they were very strange. I mean, I don't have blue hair. That's just a very odd thing to say. So what I like to tell my clients is be careful when somebody says something to you and you get upset, because usually what the problem is in some part of you, you are in agreement with them. And you're upset that they are pointing something out that you don't like about yourself, that you're in agreement with them about, okay? So that's where I'm getting the result of I'm not respecting myself by believing this thought and not acting as my best self. Okay, so let's do an intentional on this very same scenario. So an intentional, we could start anywhere in the model. Obviously, it's going to be the same circumstance. And we could start with the feeling that we want to have. We could start with the actions that we want to take. We could start with the result that we want. We could go anywhere. But I think I just went down the line on this one. Oops. Did I do too many? Nope. I just did two at a time. All right. So we got our thought and our feeling all at the same time. So if instead, when he said, you're overreacting, if instead we thought, maybe he has a point, we would feel curious, right? We'd want to know more. Like, am I overreacting to this situation, whatever the situation is? And our actions might be ask for his point of view. You would talk calmly. You would ask more questions. There would probably be no yelling, and there would probably be no arguing, because we're just curious, because we're having the thought, maybe he has a point about him saying you're overreacting. And so what our result ends up being is showing up as our best self, willing to be open to his point of view. So from the thought, maybe he has a point, we show up as our best self, willing to be open to the point of view. I'm hoping that this makes sense for you. We have 4 more weeks of digging deeper into this. And I know at first the model was a little bit confusing for me, but it is a magical tool once you really understand it. And it just makes huge changes in your life. So here's the free gift. So what I did is I made a self-coaching booklet for you. And all you need to do is join our Facebook group, and you'll get the workbook there for free. It's a PDF. You can download it to your computer or to your desktop, to your laptop, to your phone, whatever you want. You can print it. It is fillable. I believe when you do the filling, like if you type the stuff in, you're going to have to click down to the next line because of the way I set it up. But let me know if you have any problems with it. But yeah, is there anything past this? Nope, that's it. All right, so at the bottom of the video in the description, I will have the link for you to join the Facebook group to get the PDF. And I will try to pin the PDF to the top of the group. The Facebook group is called Learn to Thrive with ADHD. You do not have to have ADHD to be a part of the group. I was just listening to a podcast the other day where they were talking about how a lot of people have ADHD traits. And so there might be some of the executive functioning skills that you could use some work on. You might just be curious about coaching, and you could follow up with me there. If you would like to work with me, that is also a good place to get in touch with me. Okay? You can also comment on this video. Be sure to subscribe. There's going to be much more coming. The first 6 videos are going to be of this series, and then we're going to do a little bit shorter teaching videos about coaching and about ways that we can strengthen executive functioning skills and all that comes up when we do that. And you can also comment and let me know what questions you have or what you might like to learn about. All right. Thanks for being with me this week, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thanks. Bye.